Hello YouTubers, glad to have you back here, ready to learn more about Zapier. If you have not watched our previous videos on Zapier, I would highly recommend you go there, especially if you're starting from the beginning and you want to make sure you get the full learning. So today, what we are going to cover is another inbuilt feature basically in Zapier. So last time we went through the scheduler app, which allows you to schedule when zaps trigger off and things like that. So this week what we're going to cover is the filter step, which is actually one of the best ones I think out there. I use it all the time for clients, but it is only available on the paid version of Zapier. So if you're not on the paid version, still watch this, and this could give you a bit of information to decide on if you need to make that step to get the paid version of Zapier basically. What we're going to do first off is actually start an automation. So how the filter works is it filters through the automation. So if I said I wanted something to trigger when Calendly events were booked, then I might want to be more specific and I might want to say only if this event was booked, and that's when I'd need the filter step. It's going to make sense when you see it. So we're just going to start off with Calendly. So let's go into Calendly here. So Calendar is going to be the app that we are connecting up to something, and we will connect it up to my email marketing system, which is ActiveCampaign. There we go. Let's just press make of that, and then it's going to bring up the Zap Editor. So here you can see we're using Calendly, and we're going to say that when a createe is created, so when an event is created. Now I have got several events on my Calendly, so if I went over to my Calendly account, as you can see, I've got different events that people could book. If someone books a one-to-one meeting, it is going to trigger this event. If someone books an automation power hour, it is going to trigger this event. So then let's press continue. We would connect our account, which I already have mine connected, but if you haven't, you would just connect your account. It would ask you to log in. Nice and simple, no need to get into the API keys and stuff like that. It is literally just logging in. Then we can press continue again, and then we can press test trigger. But before you test, I always recommend that you book something yourself, and then that means you can test on yourself. You don't want to be testing with someone else's email kind of thing. So if I go into Calendly, I will book a one-to-one meeting with myself basically. We'll test this out. So we'll book myself in for Monday at 3 PM. I would recommend filling all the fields because it's going to make it easier. Or when you actually get into the next step in this Zap, the schedule event, done. So when I now click test trigger, it should pull through my information, so we can test it with me. If I press test trigger, as you can see here, this is the Laura Burnett admin at IT Moon, which we've just booked, and the 3:30 PM on Monday, 1st of March, as you can see. Now all this is information that is getting pulled through Zapier, and we can use this in anything we want. So now let's press continue. So now it's asking us, let's put it in ActiveCampaign. But actually, I don't want it to do that. I want it to only put it in ActiveCampaign if it was, say, an automation power hour, or it is a one-to-one meeting. So instead what we're going to do is click this plus arrow in the middle here. And then you come up with some different, you can add more apps in basically. But what we want to use is the filter. We want to use this here. So that it only proceeds when a certain condition is met. If we click on the filter, now we can actually set up the conditions, very similar to like an if-else statement. So what we want to do is choose a field from Calendly, which is going to be what we're testing. So what we are going to be testing here is the event type name, because I am basically going to say if the event type name exactly matches, and then it's going to be this here, one-to-one meeting. I would always recommend copying it. You never know if you've got some weird spellings and stuff. One-to-one meeting. So this is saying, right, there's an invitee created in Calendly, but I only want you to continue if the event type is the one-to-one meeting. If I press continue, it will tell me the Zap would have continued. But actually, I might actually want it so it's only if it's an automation power hour, for instance. So if I actually copy this instead and we change this, press continue, it tells me that the Zap would not have continued. So this is where it gets really, really powerful and it's fantastic to use. So highly recommend it. Now, let's press continue again. There we go. So it's going to continue. And then obviously you may have another event type. So I might have an automation power hour. So what I would do is I could just create another Zap, be able to have an if statement inside it, which would be checking for the automation power hour. So you could make them per event. So right, let's press close on that now. And we're going back to the active campaign. So we want them to create a contact for us. So continue. Where do we want this contact to go? So let's pick our account first. So my active campaign. If you haven't connected your active campaign, you'll have to do that. Press continue. Now we can choose which list we want it to go in. So you might have a specific list for different events, but I'm just going to put them in my master list. And then you click on email address here, and then we'd pick the details from the created in Calendly and select the email. As you can see, first name. It's actually going to be the full name, so let's put it on the full name column. Hang on. The phone number, so you can find that as well. If you can't find something in any of this, the best way to do it is just search for it. So if I started putting +44, as you can see, it brings up the actual details. And then this is where I might want a specific tag. So I can put one-to-one meeting. Happy days. If I wanted to fill in any custom fields, I'll show that in a different video, so you can go watch that. And then we can press continue. You would test and review it. I'm not going to test and review it because I don't want to mess up my email list, but you can test and review it and it would send it over. So that's it then. This bit then would be named. So I could literally put Calendly one-to-one meeting, the active campaign. And then what might happen then is I create another Zap, and this will be for Calendly automation power hours to active campaign. I actually won't recommend doing it this way because Calendly actually has an integration with active campaign. I do show that in another video. So again, click here if you want to learn how to do it without Zapier. But that was just the first example that came to my head with the filter. I have a lot of clients that use it for things such as WooCommerce. So they'll have that when an order is placed on WooCommerce, it'll do a check. If this order is product X, then I want you to do this in active campaign. Or I want you to send them to Membervol, or I want you to send them to Thinkific and all that kind of stuff. So it's really good for actually getting down to the nitty and gritty and making things exactly how you want it to be. So I hope that video has helped you today. Don't forget, hit the subscribe button and the bell and you will be notified when we give out new videos. We have got more videos coming out in the Zapier series, so have a look and check them out. Some of them may be already out depending on when you're watching this video. And honestly, just get into Zapier, start making the Zaps, and it will make a huge difference to you and your business. You'll start saving time, and time is your money. So get on there and have a fantastic time, everybody.